Hello and welcome to The Hindu. The Supreme Court on October 13, 2025, ordered a CBI inquiry into the September 27, 2025 Karur stampede, in which 41 people lost their lives while attending a political campaign by popular actor Tamilaga Vetri Kazhagam President C. Joseph Vijay. The top court of the country also appointed a three-member supervisory committee headed by its retired judge Ajay Rastogi and comprising two IPS officers of his choice to supervise the investigation to be conducted by the CBI. The committee has been given the powers to review the probe every month and issue appropriate directions to the investigating team regarding the aspects on which the investigation is required. It has ordered that the monthly progress reports of the CBI should be placed before the court too, as and when required. The Supreme Court has further ordered the suspension of a commission of inquiry appointed by the Tamil Nadu government under the chairpersonship of Madras High Court retired Judge Aruna Jagadeesan, possibly to avoid any conflicting report being submitted by her before the conclusion of the criminal investigation by the CBI. All these directions have been issued by way of an interim order on an appeal filed by actor Vijay's political party TVK against a Madras High Court's October 3, 2025 order through which a special investigation team was constituted to probe the Karur stampede tragedy. While TVK had sought a probe monitored by a retired judge of the Supreme Court, a few other individuals, including a BJP lawyer and a few family members of the victims, had approached the Supreme Court seeking a CBI probe. The interim orders have been passed on all those cases collectively. The first reason the Supreme Court gave for ordering a CBI probe into the Karur tragedy and for interfering with the Madras High Court's order was that the latter had constituted the SIT without even anybody asking for such a prayer. The top court pointed out that a litigant named P.H. Dinesh of Villivakam in Chennai had approached the Madras High Court only for framing a standard operating procedure or an SOP for such large gatherings in the future. But the High Court had so motu enlarged the scope of the case before it and ended up constituting a SIT. The second reason cited by the Supreme Court was that the Madras High Court had made certain stinging observations against actor Vijay's TVK in its order, even though the political party was not a respondent in the case filed by Mr. Dinesh, and it did not have an opportunity to defend itself before suffering such criticism in the hands of the High Court. Thirdly, the Supreme Court said that the district of Karur fell under the territorial jurisdiction of the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court, and therefore the principal seat of the High Court in Chennai ought not to have entertained a case related to Karur without the express permission of its Chief Justice. The Supreme Court took note that a batch of cases were filed in the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court too, seeking a CBI probe into the Karur tragedy. But the Madurai bench had dismissed those cases on October 3, 2025. However, the top court arrived at a prima facie consideration that the Madurai bench had dismissed the plea for a CBI probe without dealing with those cases in the right perspective. In fact, the entire interim order of the Supreme Court has been passed only on prima facie consideration of the issues before it, and the court has decided to take a final decision on the cases before it only after the Tamil Nadu government files a detailed counter affidavit after 8 weeks. Now, the hitch in the top court's order is that it had granted the final relief sought by TVK as well as the other litigants by way of an interim order. Now, this can become a ground for any aggrieved party, including the Tamil Nadu government, to urge the court to vacate the interim order. Will they do it? Is what we would have to wait and watch in the days to come. And when that happens, we shall come to you with the updates. Till then, stay tuned to The Hindu. Thank you.